This is TWiT.
Apple's expanding its self-service repair program to the M1 MacBook Air and all three M1 MacBook Pro models. Some kind of limited repair types: audio board, battery for the Air, bottom case, display, keycaps, logic board, speaker, top case, Touch ID board, trackpad, fans for MacBook Pro, MagSafe for MacBook Pro, antenna modules. Actually, I guess that's a lot of it. Those are the things
it's
that
not
break.
a bad. It's not a bad selection, and it is just on the M2 or the M1 laptops, not the M2, just the M1 Air and the 3 Pros right now. Although Apple said that there will be more, including desktops, coming down the road. The big thing about this, I think, is that it's not as intense to fix a Mac as it is to fix an iPhone. You don't necessarily have to rent the giant case that's got the machine that takes the screen off, right? To do this, you may be able, if you've got iFixit tools, you may be able to do these repairs yourself. And if that's the case with stuff you've already got, and then at that point you're just buying the official Apple replacement part and installing it yourself.
So you could buy the part standalone. You don't have to buy the toolkit.
The tools are not mandatory.
Okay.
They'll sell them to you, they'll rent them to you, or you can just have your own tools. There are, I guess, in different repairs, there are a couple places where there are specialized tools, but there are also a bunch of different repairs that aren't. And yeah, I think this is going to be like, if you need to do a battery replacement, you can choose to get the cheaper battery replacement that is from a third party. Or you could say, you know, I'm just going to get the Apple battery replacement. I'm going to pay them and do it myself.
Real battery.
And you'll be able to do that. But this is, I've seen this story spun as been like Apple reluctantly does this. It's like, I don't know. I think this is, I'm surprised they went out with the iPhone, because the iPhone repairs are so complicated. Whereas these Mac repairs, you know, everything's a little bit bigger and a little bit easier to get into. And I think it's great. The idea that Apple will give you their manual and say, here's how you fix that I/O board that's bad, or, you know, whatever it is. I love it. It's great. And if I should say, one of the interesting details here is some of these items are very expensive. Like a logic board replacement for a MacBook Pro 10-core is like $1,800, $1,900. But for the expensive items, Apple will reimburse you for your return of the faulty one. So, you know, you pay $1,900 for that logic board, but the one you send back is worth $1,500, and so it's a $400 repair. So you get you get some of your money back for the expensive repairs too.
Not
so
bad at
it's
all.
not it's never going to be the best deal, but it is like the official Apple sanctioned deal, and I think that's a good thing.
Yeah, and there are a lot of people who don't have easy access to an Apple store. For people that it's like it's a 3-hour or 4-hour drive, they'd much rather just wrestle with it at home. I just wish that they would go all the way and make it super easy for third-party repair shops, and not necessarily be fully certified by Apple, but to simply be able to say, look, I know that the problem is with the motherboard because I see this smoking crater in the middle of this motherboard, so I'm guessing that that's the thing that needs to be swapped out. Just sell me a motherboard. This person does not have the skills or the interest in swapping it out themselves, but I know what I'm doing, so just please release the right hardware to me. I will send you the broken motherboard back. I think that's what a lot of people would like to have happen, but it's nice that they're doing something better than nothing, and this is literally better than nothing.